Get started. Let me go ahead. All right, so for today's security office hours presentation, we're going to talk about automatic redirection in Defender for Office 365. In case you haven't seen it, or you might not have A5, and even if you have A3 and A3, you're going to start seeing some stuff light up in the security center. So we talked about the Plan 1 and Plan 2 of Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So it's out in public preview now. It's coming. It's going to be hitting GA around December, which is next gen endpoint protection for Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android, and that's going to become part of A3. That will actually bubble up into the security center as well, so you'll have some stuff there. But security.microsoft.com is the single portal to rule them all if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I guess. But it's going to be your one-stop shop. So we're bubbling up all the portals into the security center, and we've already done that with Defender for Endpoint. So instead of going to security.windows or securitycenter.windows.com, if it's that what it was, I can't remember. It's been a while. You now go to security.microsoft.com. There we go. So why are we here? Again, we've completed the migration of the Office 365 protection.office.com, and as I'd mentioned, securitycenter.microsoft.com into the Microsoft 365 Defender portal, which is security.microsoft.com. We're opening this unified portal experience up to everybody. As a matter of fact, if somebody were to spin up a tenant today, the default would be to go ahead and redirect to the new portal. You have the ability of turning that redirection off for now. At some point, we're going to completely deprecate protection.office.com. So when you look at it, we're going to review the certain things like, the migration process, we're also going to look at different things around the licensing, what you're going to see in there, what's going to open up for different customers, what's not. So again, what does the unified portal include? Review some of the security portal licenses, talk about the migration process and redirection, talk about things like RBAC, any controls that you might have to change, and what's going to happen to the protection portal. So as I had mentioned, the Microsoft 365 Defender portal is security.microsoft.com. Hopefully everybody's been going there, looking at it. It's our unified portal experience. It's our unified place for incidents. It's our unified hunting tool. So for instance, if you were to go to the old Microsoft Defender for Endpoint portal and do an advanced hunt in there, it's only going to return back from things that are inside of MDE. Whereas if you go to the advanced hunting inside of the Defender portal, it shows you everything across your entire domain, your entire tenant. Real quick, just a quick overview on the new Defender portal. It's a new home. We have Defender for Identity, Defender for Endpoints, Defender for Office, Microsoft Cloud App Security. They're all going to start bubbling into there. In certain cases, MCAS might have its own portal for quite a while, but when you go and look at incidents or you look at data that's coming into the Defender portal, it's going to pull information from MCAS and put it there, so you have a single place to go. The new home, you can see we've turned automatic redirection on into production portal. So anybody that's new, or if you go to protection.office.com now, it's automatically going to redirect you over there. The redirection was in the past was people could turn it on if they wanted to, or they can turn it off. Now the default is going to be turned on. So if it's something that you want to turn off, it's going to ask you for feedback. Please give us feedback. If there's something that's missing, if there's something that doesn't look right and you need to turn it off for whatever reason, please let us know about it. The feedback form will actually pop up right in the settings, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I'm also I do have to say that we have full compatibility for all security scenarios, all reporting scenarios that was in the protection portal. We've fully migrated those experiences, and we're also introducing a new and unified experience for eligible customers, and we'll review that in a few minutes. Again, it's important for me to say that all customers who use the Protection and Compliance Center, protection.office, they'll be redirected to the new security portal. So if you go to protection.office.com, it should start to redirect you over as we're rolling this out. A quick overview of the unified experience. Eligible customers will get unified alerts. They're going to get it's going to be unified Defender for Office, Defender for Endpoint, and other workloads if you have them. So we'll break it down. And when this thing was presented to me, they were talking about, Plan 1, Plan 2, A3. Actually, they were talking about E3, E5. I put the academic stuff in there, and I made it a little bit more simple because in most cases, you're going to either get, if you're getting Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Office, you've already got A5, whether it's A5 security or A5 all up. So I kind of took some of those pieces out of there. So people that are not used to this, they'll have a new and cool advanced hunting capabilities that are built in there, as I had mentioned. If they have just Defender for Office, they have a brand new email entity page. So if you go to protection.office.com and you just start doing some looking in there now, it's using the old legacy email entity page. If you go to the Defender portal, you actually have a brand new email entity page that gives you a lot more information, and it's a lot of information a lot of our customers are asking for. So as they're doing, hunting and triage, they have more information at their fingertips. It's also a unified action center, so you don't have multiple places to go to actually take actions on there. The threat analytics, the learning hub, these are all new things that are inside of the Defender portal that people that are newly migrated over or newly redirected, it's going to be brand new to them. People that have been using it already, hey, it's something you already know. But as I said, for customers that are already using the portal, it's already there for them. We've introduced them along the way, and this is only the current list. It's going to keep growing, so you're going to see more and more things come to the security center. So when we start talking about licenses, as we move along, we're just going to do a quick overview of the licenses and the scope of those licenses. So this slide, when it first showed up, it said, if you have a combination of MDE, MDO, or A5, you're going to get this. Like I said, the cost for most customers in education, if you get MDE and MDO, it's already more than what the A5 security is going to be. So you're probably going to have A5 anyway. But if you happen to have those two pieces as individual pieces, this is what you're going to get as well. You're going to get the full A5 experience from that piece. You're going to get, unified pages. You're going to have MDE pages, MDO pages, and you actually see this is a new thing that's going to show up as email and collaboration. It's going to have the investigations, the Explorer, the submissions, review, and we're adding a lot more in the submissions as well, especially around user-initiated submissions into your organization. Threat tracker, all that stuff is going to be visible from the, or should already be visible from the security inside the security center. If you have just MDO Plan 2, so let's say you didn't go with the full A5 and you just went for Microsoft Defender for Office Plan 2, again, there's Plan 1 and Plan 2, you're going to see the unified pages, you're going to see the Defender for Office pages, but you won't see the endpoint pages. Now, that said, if you have A3, when we release the Microsoft Defender for Office Plan 1, you'll actually see the endpoint piece show up, but it's not going to be as complete as Defender for Endpoint Plan 2 with the EDR capabilities and that, and it's not going to have the unified, no, actually it will have the unified incident pane, but it'll be without the EDR capabilities, route threat and vulnerability management, etc. And we've already talked about, but just some new experiences. Again, unified alerts queue, unified incident queue, email entity page, all brand new, advanced hunting from a single pane of glass. A lot of customers purchase, they get A3 and then they add MDO plan 1 on there. So you're going to have, no change to the Microsoft Defender for Office experience. You're going to still have the ability there. You'll see just if we flip back and forth some of the things that are missing out of there. So threat tracker, simulation training, those are some of the things that are not inside of Plan 1. You'll also have a unified incident and email, for email and collaboration alerts from a single pane of glass. Does anybody have any questions about the licensing piece we move on? Because I know sometimes it get confusing and I just want to make sure that everybody is clear on what they're going to get from the security portal, depending on their license. And at this time, if anybody's chatting in the chat window, I can't see that. So from an RBAC custom roles perspective, nothing's going to change there. So we're going to honor any roles that you have in place already. So if you already created custom roles, you've already have RBAC set up, there's nothing you need to do. Those roles should give them the exact same access they had in the old portal within the new portal. You can create custom roles, custom permissions inside the new portal, but if you have everything set up the way you want, you don't have to change anything. You don't have to go reassign anything. It'll actually be fluid as it moves over. And like I said, moving forward, you'll be able to create new rules and create them inside the portal if you need to. So completing the transition, if somebody were to go to protection.office.com, threat management, it's going to bring you all the way over to security.microsoft.com, and the equivalent experience. Everything's going to look the same from that aspect of it. You're also going to see, it's an automatic redirection. You go there, it should automatically redirect you to where you want it to go with inside of protection.office.com. Same thing from a quarantine perspective. So the quarantine is going to get redirected over there. But the good part about it is everything's going to be unified there. So depending on what you own and what services you have lit up, you'll be able to move quickly from one to the other. Automatic redirecting of alerts as well. So again, the way you have alerts set up, so it's also compatible with compliance roles. So the old protection was a security and compliance portal inside of Office. The security, the threat pieces are going to go into the security.microsoft.com, the security center. The compliance pieces, things like DLP, e-discovery, etc., are going to go into compliance.microsoft.com, the compliance center. New addition for customers already have automatic redirections set on. So in the past, the reports would still go back to the old portal.office. Now that we've completely migrated everything over, you're going to see the different reports. So again, if you have A5, sorry, I didn't get the E out of it, A5 or P2 from an Office perspective, you're going to have a unified alert queue. If you have just Office 365 Plan 1, because everybody that has A3 has the E3 license from in there, they're going to have just the email and collaboration alerts queue. So customers are always going to say, hey, what if I'm not ready for it? You can actually turn it off. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. It's actually really easy to turn off. The one thing it will do, like I said, it'll pop up and ask you for feedback. Please give us feedback. The product group is going through it, because one of the things they want to do, they want to make sure that everything from a customer experience is that they plan on moving over and not deprecating is in the new portal experience before they go ahead and deprecate the portal altogether. So as you can see, the migration process as as we went through it. So in February 21, optional work in the security portal, you had the ability of going one place to the other. You had to know the two different URLs. In March, we redirected the security portal opt-in so somebody can go into settings and flip the switch and say, yes, redirect me. Today, it's an opt-out. So it's going to be automatically turned on. And we haven't announced yet when the redirection is. Probably looking at January, February sometime if you were to ask, on the side. And again, as mentioned, we're looking for feedback. One of the things I do want to do is pull up my screen here, and if I were to go into my Defender portal, excuse me, and of course everything has to run slow while I'm in a demo. There we go. So if I go into my Defender portal, you'll actually be able to just go straight down to settings and then go into email and collaboration. And right here, you have the ability of turning it on or off. And it's going to say disable and share feedback. It'll disable it in a few moments. You'll actually get the feedback box pop up and ask for feedback. Please do give us feedback. I know I keep harping on this, but we truly do need the feedback before we go ahead and depreciate the other portal. And then if you go ahead and turn it back on, there you go, it's enabled. And all the policies and everything like that you would normally go through are inside of here. So policies and rules are already in there. One of these days, maybe we'll have a session on going through the policies and rules in Microsoft Defender for Office, because inside of threat policies, there's a really good piece in here where you can look at our best practices from our preset security policies and compare your configuration against those. And I think a lot of customers might not have looked at that, and it's probably something we want to talk about. Does anybody have any questions? Is anybody still there? There's people still here. Good to hear, Nicholas. All right. I got through that a little quicker than I thought I would. I'm going to stop the recording.